In a romantic comedy, it seems like each character, each sort of partner of this dance is missing something in their lives, and they see at some point that that other person is going to basically cure them of that. Why do we resonate with that, and why is that such a common theme?
There's another wonderful Greek myth that says that originally humans were both male and female together, and we had 4 legs and 4 arms and 2 heads, and we were joined. But with all those limbs, humans were able to start climbing up Mount Olympus, and were able to start challenging the gods. And the gods said, oh, no, this'll never do. And so they tore humans apart, and male and female were separated. And since then, it is the nature of our yearning to try to reunite into the one form. So that's how a mythology set it up. What we are trying to do in romance is to find that missing part of ourselves. What I think is interesting is that in some instances, people are trying to find that thing that will complement them because they don't have it. And then there are those instances where somebody says, oh, you've got that so much more than I do. I'm going to look a whole lot better than you by comparison. You know, if I'm cynical but you're more cynical, that's going to make me look like the good guy. So some of the romantic comedies have that sort of a mechanism in it. But I think basically what most of us are looking for in our romantic situations is a completion. What we see in our romantic relationships is often said to be a reflection of our relationship with our higher spiritual selves, or with higher energies, or with the cosmos. That we connect to life through each other, that we connect to the one life by relating closely to one person. And so the alchemy of love can actually truly lift us up. And that is what a lot of us are looking for, even if we're not conscious of it. But we are looking for that bliss, that nirvana within our love relationships. And you may have heard some version of this where people say, we kissed and the world disappeared and we became gods. You go, oh yes, please. That's wonderful. And one of my favorite authors, Lawrence Durrell, British author of the wonderful Alexandria Quartet, which is all about love. And one of his characters makes a note and says, in loving Justine, I was loving all women because she stood for the female. And so I think that's what we do too. Even if we don't realize it, we just go, oh, I love you. We're also loving the essence of love.
Why so often opposites attract? Why is it sort of the hero worshiper or shy admirer, and the sort of I don't know if you want to say type A sort of hero? I mean, I'm thinking of, let's say, Jerry Maguire.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Which film I absolutely love.
Uh-huh.
But that's a common scenario. Whether it's one is the male, one is the female. That you can kind of switch who's sort of the hero worshiper. But why do we love that scenario so much?
I think we have to go back to evolutionary biology and evolutionary psychology to truly answer that. In small groups of people, you do not want to have too much interbreeding because it's not healthy. So you need to stir up the gene pool. And so there's a phrase, the brother or the other. You're going to get a better immune system in your offspring if you're not mating with your relatives. If you go for the other, that which is different. So you take that on up to modern times, and we're still being influenced by that. We still see the other, the person who is different from us, as more of a potential mate. A lot of that's just our biology, psychology from 200,000 years still working on us. But I also think it's part of the wonderful magnetism of passion and of sex, regardless of what gender the body is, to have the positive pole and the negative pole. That's when you get magnetism. You get two positive poles together, what happens? Nothing, they repel each other, right? But you get positive and negative together, and then you get sparks, then you get the magnetic pull. So I think that part of that opposites attract is built into human nature, that is trying to produce the best offspring. And part of it also is just our sense of adventure.
Let's take Annie Hall. So you have Woody Allen's character, who's kind of self-effacing, he's down on himself. And then Diane Keaton, who's a breath of fresh air, she's in a great mood, she, very open to life. Why does that dynamic work?
Well, I would counter and say it didn't actually work because they broke up. And she, in spite of her seeming self-confidence, also had some problems with her own self-worth and what she wanted and what she thought she should want. But yes, on the surface they're opposites, and they attract, and it's fun, and that's one of the most fun parts about that romantic comedy. But if you look at it again, I think you'll see that they're a whole lot more alike at heart than they are different. I was surprised at that when I went back and watched it, with an analytical eye for the book.